Hello, my name is Sarah Kyle. Thank you so much to MCTV for having me, for the producers, and for you for joining us. I am the director of 211 Northeast Michigan, where we serve Midland County and all surrounding counties. The fun thing is, I've been in the career of serving people really in this area my entire adult life, and I'm so excited to do it for 211. Let me tell you what 211 is. 211 started in Atlanta, Georgia. They realized that, just like you already know, it's tough to ask for help. It's not easy to tell people that you're struggling. And even more importantly, sometimes when you are looking for help, it's really hard to find. So they decided that as a united way, they fund amazing programs. They fund programs across the entire spectrum of human service, but people couldn't always find them. What if we had one very easy, simple way to access those programs? And that's where 211 came about. 3 simple numbers that folks could call to reach someone who's going to listen, who's going to respond, and find a service in the community, if it's available, to make the connection. So what we are, again, we're a 3-digit number. We're free, we're confidential, 24/7. Anyone can call us in all of Michigan. What you're going to do when you call is you're going to pick up the phone and dial 3 simple digits. And no matter what time of day, we're going to treat you like you are the only person we have to talk to. We're going to ask you for a few things to see how we can help, how we can best help, but we're going to be there to listen to you. It's really important to know that we're completely confidential. No one's going to know you called us unless we ask permission. Sometimes there are programs that want to know, did someone call for food? Well, we will not share any of your information without your expressed permission. It's really important to know no one needs to know that you're asking for help. It's also important to know that anyone can pick up the phone and dial 211. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter how much money you make or don't make, doesn't matter your age. If you have a need, pick up the phone and dial, and we're going to do everything we can to connect you to a local resource in your community. Very often, our referrals have to do with food, utilities, and shelter. We very often in Midland get the call that I don't know where I'm going to get food for dinner tonight. The weekend's coming, kids are home from school, I'm not sure where we're going to make meals, including lunches and breakfasts. All they have to do is dial 211, and we're going to connect people to local resources like food pantries. We also get questions about utilities. Man, it's really hard to pay my electric bill. Things are, unfortunately in Michigan right now, probably the whole world, people are struggling. And a lot of people who've never, ever struggled before. So we're going to help really get around those resources. When you call us, we're going to ask a few questions. I mentioned that. Things like, is there a veteran in your household? We have a wonderful partnership with Great Lakes Bay Veteran Coalition and with other veteran organizations. We're going to offer you services that are due to you as a veteran for serving our country. We ask if there's anyone in the household who's over 60. We do that because there's great programs at our councils on aging, at our regional area agencies on aging, that we might be able to connect you to. We ask if anyone in the household has a disability. Again, so many great programs for folks who may need a little bit of extra help. We also ask if there are, how many people are in the household. We do that because there are great programs for kids. You know, Midland County is rich with programs that we can connect folks to. This last year in 2020, and we did this in 2017 as well, we also are a response for disaster. As you all know, we experienced a tragic event. Thankfully, there were no lives lost. But in May of 2020, we had floods and dam failures. 211 was the number you called when it wasn't 911. There's a difference between crisis and emergency. You dial 911 for emergency, and 211 is where you called to get help to fill out the forms when there was damage in your home, to get connected to where was the local place they had some warm meals. So in a disaster, we're also there for folks in our communities. Speaking of disaster, this is the year of COVID, right? We're going into what seems like it's been for a long time dealing with this issue. And at 211, we are honored to be part of the solution. The very first thing we were asked to do was to help people find testing sites. So that's what we did. If you're looking for a COVID testing site, you can pick up your phone and dial 211, and we're going to help you find the nearest testing site to you. And then we were even asked to actually answer the governor's COVID hotline. If you call the governor's COVID hotline, the Michigan COVID hotline, there's a very good chance you're going to talk to one of my team members. We're very proud to be part of that solution. If you do call the COVID hotline and you ask to speak to MyOSHA, that's not my team. We are 211. And then most recently, we've been part of the vaccine solution. We can answer some questions about where you need to register for your vaccine. If you have absolutely no internet, we may even be able to help you register for the COVID vaccine just by simply dialing 3 digits. One thing that's also important is you don't have to call us. Maybe you're busy at work and you can't take the time to make a call. Maybe you're not sure if you want to be on the phone. Maybe you don't have minutes, but you have some Wi-Fi. You can search our database on your own. If you go to 211nemichigan.org, that's 211ne as in Northeast, Michigan spelled out.org, you can find the exact same database that my staff searches. You can go there, you can look for food pantries, you can look for local help with utilities and housing. It's an easy one-step solution to find help. When you're on my website, you can also chat with a live specialist. Our community resource specialists are waiting to help connect you to local resources. We've done everything we can to be available in any way possible. You can also now text 211 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, simply by sending your zip code to 898211. That's TXT211. Again, it's a service where we're just trying to make sure you have all the access you could ever need for our services. When you go to my website, if you decide to search the database on your own, please feel free to look around all of the website, but to look around for resources. If you're there and you get to the end and there were no services available, I would ask that you pick up the phone and dial. Some organizations are run by volunteers, and they have a right to not have their phone listed publicly on a website. So there may be a resource, it's just not listed. It's not common, but it is possible. So if you're there and you're looking for help, please feel free to pick up the phone and call us if you did not find a resource. Unfortunately, you might call us and there may not be a resource. That's the hardest part of what we do. Sometimes we have to tell people there's nothing in your community at this time. What happens is we usually offer other resources. Maybe you called for help with rent and we couldn't find the right agency, we couldn't find the right specifications, but maybe we can help you with some food needs. Maybe we can get a few more groceries in the house that will, alleviate that part of your budget so you can help yourself with rent. But one thing we do with those, what we call unmet needs, is we report them back to our communities. We give those back publicly on our website. We give them to leaders. We give them to local funders to say, here's what your community is needing where there are no resources. So it's important to know that we don't just stop with, I'm sorry, there's nothing. We keep trying to help, and we even use that information to inform our communities about need. And that's where your United Way comes in. Thankfully, your United Way is so generous in our community and has funded the program 211 really since our inception. We started in Midland County at the first call for help inside the United Way. And they looked at it and said, this is such a good program, we want it to grow. So now we're a 23 county 211. So if you're looking for ways to give back in your community, you can also dial 211. We have a full list of volunteer opportunities, and that's how we're going to make our community better and stronger, as we're going to be together and we're going to volunteer. We're going to come together as a community to serve each other. The most important thing to remember is at 211, we have community resource advocates who are ready and waiting just to hear you, to make sure that someone is a listening ear 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by simply dialing 211. I'd like to thank you for joining us. I'd like to thank MCTV for having us. And if you have any questions, it is so simple. All you have to do is dial 211. Thank you very much.